I hope you're all doing real well with all this craziness going around. We certainly are. Isn't that right, Tony?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. He looks like that every morning before his first cup of coffee. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make whipped cream and butter from heavy whipping cream. First of all, we're going to make the whipped cream because that'll be the easiest, and it goes right into butter once you're done with the whipping cream. So let me show you what we're going to do here. First, we're going to take the heavy whipping cream and dump it in. Now this is 2 cups of whipping cream, and we're going to put it all in. And one of the things I like best about this KitchenAid is the fact that it's so easy to work up. I forgot the shield. Hang on a second. When you're doing the whipping cream, you want to make sure you're completely protected and that everything around you is protected. So now we'll bring it up, and we're going to be starting up real slow. If it starts showing the whipped cream, then we're going to be putting in powdered sugar and vanilla.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we're going to get this up to number 10. And you want to use the whisk portion of your KitchenAid if you have a KitchenAid. And if you want to come in a little bit, are you able to see that? Okay. And we're going to keep mixing it up until it gets kind of a frothy white. Okay, we're going to stop it here for a minute because there's 2 other ingredients we need to add. One of the ingredients is a half teaspoon of powdered sugar, and then we also need to add a half teaspoon of the vanilla. Uh-oh. Oh.
How come these ingredients aren't already measured out and ready to put in?
I forgot I was doing the whipping cream first.
Let's go. We got other things to make, you know. Doesn't the recipe call for a lot more, but we got it down to a half a teaspoon and it still tastes just perfect? Yes,
it usually calls for a whole teaspoon, but with the amount of milk that we're using, it just works out better than to have a half teaspoon. Through trial and error, it's worked out better for us.
You always splash a little bit more than that.
Which I usually do. And now we'll start this back up. We lift it up, and we get it back up to number 10. And then we leave it at number 10 until it's nice and frothy and whippy.
All right, I'm going to come in for a close-up?
Yes. It takes about 3 minutes for the whole process.
Not bad. I can see it's getting whippier now.
Yeah, so you can see at the time that we're stirring it up and everything, you can see just how much of a whippiness it is. And then it depends on how long you let it stand like that as to how much of a whipped cream you want. You don't want it going too long because then you end up starting to go into butter.
Ooh, look at that. How's that?
Well, I believe it's about done.
What does it say in the recipe? How to look? Does it stand on its own, or is it? Can you throw it in the corner and have it stand up, or?
Oh, I don't throw it in the corner, but it usually stands up. It stands up on its own.
So basically, it just looks like what?
Basically, it should be able to stand up like this. When you lift it out, you should be able to get little peaks.
Oh, yeah, peaks. Cool.
When you have that, then you know you have whipped cream.
And pretty much all the stuff has come out of necessity. It's like, you know, we didn't buy any whipped cream. Do we have the stuff to make it? Or butter. That's the next coming up. Oh, that is the best. Homemade butter. No preservatives in the whipped cream. No preservatives in the butter. You control the amount of sugar, you control the amount of salt. Oh, look at how lumpy that is, man. That's just amazing.
Now, for anyone who's never done this before, you can always look up the recipe on Google. I've always used the website allrecipes.com. They come up with some really neat ones. And they also give you, when you bring up the recipes, they give you the amounts that are in the recipes, but they also give you the ability to change the number of servings. And that will give you the amount of each ingredient for those new servings.
All right.
Okay, everybody, now we're going to be doing the butter. It's going to be similar lines to the whipping cream, only this is going to be a longer process. It's going to be at least a good 6 to 7 minutes. So, again, we're going to put heavy whipping cream in the mixer here.
Where do we get that whipping cream again?
We got that whipping cream at Aldi.
Good, okay.
So now we've got the whipping cream in the bowl, and there's one other ingredient that we add into it as a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The reason we're putting in salt this time is because we're making butter. We're not making anything sweet. You have to have the shield on this time because when you get ready to making the butter, the whey, which is the liquid portion of the cream once it's getting past the whipping stage, ends up splashing all over the place. So you need a shield in order to keep from getting a mess on everything. I also put a towel down because it still has some open spots here, and you still end up getting a lot of dust. So here we are.
For now, this process takes how long before you stop
This
it?
process takes about 6 to 7 minutes. It's about 4 to 5 minutes longer than the whipping cream does. The reason for that is because it takes a lot longer. Once you get past the whipping stage, you have a section of the cream that goes into a curds and whey situation. The whey is the liquid form. The curds are the chunky pieces that eventually turn into butter.
Okay, so it just looks like it's liquid right now.
Yes, it hasn't even gotten to the whipping stage yet.
Yeah, it's not even sloppy yet. Getting a little sloppy, I guess. Let me know when it starts looking like something different, and then I'll zoom in again.
Yeah. Right now it's getting into the whipping stage.
Oh, okay. May I take another? Oh, I can see it starting to stand up a little bit. So right now it's like whipped cream with salt in it.
Yes. Right now it's it is.
Okay.
Now at this point we want to keep going, and we've got at least another 4 or 5 minutes to go.
Okay. When Karen first started doing this and wanting to do this, I thought, that's kind of silly. And then I tasted the butter, and my goodness, it is so good. At least you know what's in this stuff. I mean, we buy tastes like butter or something, and I don't know what kind of chemicals are in there, but it tastes okay. But this is real butter. That's the advantage. Really getting whipped. Whip it good. I wish I knew the words to that song. Whip it good. What's the next word? So, How we doing?
We're doing pretty good. It's still just now starting to get into the curds and rice section.
You know, that calendar's still in September.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting to flip it up to October.
Okay, well, we will
When I go to
someday.
flip it up, it ends up falling down after a while. So
In my office, usually it's about 2 months behind, but not doing so bad in the kitchen. Nothing else, no other ingredients. This is just gonna turn into.
it's gonna eventually turn into butter. But you know, with the thing on the sides here, I think I'm gonna stop it long enough to get it kind of scraped down so the whisk can get to it. So
Okay.
let me stop this for just a second.
By all means. So you need
Shield
to.
off. So I'm putting it
When it
more in
gets
the
up.
middle. Because if it gets along the side there, the whisk really can't reach it.
Okay.
So it makes more sense for me to put it kind of push it into the middle. And in that way, because all along here it's going to start turning into butter. So we don't want to miss any of this turning into butter.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
So now we put the shield back on.
Okay.
And we lift it up.
All right.
You always want to be lifting it up because if you stir it up when it's not lifted, it's not going to reach the cream. You want to keep it at number 10 throughout the entire process because that's the highest that the KitchenAid can go. And it mixes it up a lot faster.
Thicker now. I'm almost getting the illusion that it looks like cottage cheese or something.
That would be the curds.
Oh, that's the curd?
That's the curds. And then you'll start noticing some liquid along the sides of the bowl. That's going to be the whey. Or the buttermilk in this case. So out of this one thing here, we get three things. We get whipping cream, we get buttermilk, and we get butter.
Oh, I forgot about the buttermilk, yeah.
And the buttermilk is absolutely wonderful with pancakes.
Yeah, we did that the last 2 times. It is good. Makes the buttermilk pancake mix really buttermilk. Oh, I think I see the liquidy on the sides now.
Yes.
The buttermilk.
The buttermilk is starting to show up now. So in a few minutes I'm going to have to cover it with a towel because it'll start getting really messy. Okay, now as you notice, it's starting to turn liquidy again.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the buttermilk mixing with the butter. So it's actually the buttermilk is separating from the butter.
Buttermilk. Now, if you were making whipped cream, you would say, "Oh, this is a ruin because I kept it on too long."
Yes.
Ah.
That's why you want to keep it only for about 3 minutes when you're doing the whipping cream.
I think that this has been on like for about an hour and a half now.
No, it's only been on for about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I gotta cover it up the holes.
Okay.
Because as you can see on the shield here, it's starting to really spit up.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Wow, good thing we got that shield.
Well, as you may be hearing, there'll be some little clumps along the bowl. That's the butter clumps the butter getting clumped together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Got the shield here.
Okay. There, let's see what it looks like. Meow. Oh, look at that. It's real butter.
This here is the butter.
Yeah.
And this liquid here is the buttermilk. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to get them out of the whisk. And we want to get the whisk off of here so we can get the rest of it out. Now we're not going to take the butter out of the bowl right away because we've got to wash it at this point. But we want to get the buttermilk out of there first before we do any kind of washing.
Okay. And that's what it looks like sitting in there. This episode should be called "Our Son's Mother is Making Butter."
Okay.
Okay. So what's your plan here, lady?
At this point, I'm going to be squeezing the buttermilk out of the butter and getting as much of the buttermilk out as I can. And the buttermilk is going to go into that bowl, which is eventually going to go into the jar.
Okay.
Okay. Now, normally, there's some people that are able to put it right into the jar itself. I can't. I always end up messing it up. So, doing the bowl first, it works out best for me.
Oh, okay. I thought didn't you buy this material, this cloth, just to make butter?
Yes.
What is this, cheesecloth or something?
The cheesecloth is for like the last bit of washing.
Oh. Okay, so what you're doing, okay, you're squeezing the butter against the side of the bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the buttermilk separated here. All right. Nice.
Okay. Now, normally this would be in a smaller jar, but I couldn't find one right away. So that is from 2 cups of cream.
Cool.
Now that will be used by us for pancakes or waffles or anything that calls for buttercream or for buttermilk.
It'll probably be gone less than a week.
In the meantime, I've got to now wash the butter.
Back at the ranch, we're washing the butter.
We're washing the butter because see, there's still buttercream. There's still the buttermilk in there, and if you leave it the way it is, it would end up spoiling the butter. So now we've got to wash the butter and get the balance of the liquid out of the butter itself. So once we wash the liquid that's in here now that we're going to be getting out is no longer usable. So that's going to be washed. You want to have the ice cubes in the water because that keeps it nice and icy cold, which is what you need at this point. Because what you're going to be doing is while you're mixing the butter, you're also hardening it. And the only way you can harden it is by having it cold. So by mixing the cold water with it, it hardens the butter at the same time you're washing it.
Okay.
Okay, so put it back up. Now this is the time that you definitely need your towel because you're going to be it's going to be splashing all over the place the entire time. So unfortunately you're not going to be able to see what's going on inside here anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, we can just imagine. What speed? 10 again?
You want to keep it going to 10.
I remember you said always 10 for the butter.
Yes, always 10 for the butter, always 10 for the whipping cream.
So about how long now? Another hour and a half?
No.
No? Oh, that's quick.
Okay.
Now can I see what it looks like?
Yes,
or
now you can see what it looks like.
All right. Ooh, there's more water. Well, that's right. Because if you put the water in there, so of course there's more water. Dummy to myself. Okay. All right.
Okay, so
oh,
again,
look at that butter. Oh my
getting
goodness.
the butter out of the...
You're putting it back in the water? Why don't you just leave it out of the water? Or you're washing it again?
Because we have to wash it until it's completely clear. The water has to be clear once we're done. And once the water is completely clear, the butter has been washed and it's ready to be used. So you want to get as much of the butter out I've learned how to do this was by watching other people doing the videos for this. And there's been a lot of the different tricks that I've tried, and some of the tricks have worked, some of the tricks have not. So it's really a matter of what works best for you. For this, in this case, this works best for me.
Okay, this particular mixer hinge is off of this pin. Do you want it on it? Or, oh, never mind. You're good. Okay, next.
Now, at this point,
yes.
This is the time that we're going to be using the...
Oh, this is where the cheesecloth comes in, huh?
Because at this point, we are squeezing out the water as much as we can get it.
Okay. Oh, I see. Put that over the bowl. All right, line the bowl with the... Okay.
Now the butter and the water go in together.
Huh.
The reason for that is because you're going to be squeezing the water as much as you can out of the butter. And the butter, of course, needs to be in there so you can squeeze it out with the cheesecloth.
Well, squeeze my butter. Okay. Trying to get a right angle so we could see it. Okay. We should get your scale out and actually see how much it's making. You make out of that.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I was guessing maybe half a pound, but it looks like maybe more.
I think it could be a pound. Okay.
Now you gotta wash it again.
You notice the water that's in there? It's all cloudy and everything.
It's cloudy.
We want to have it nice and clear, so that means that this needs to be washed again. So dump that down. Ready for the next batch.
Okay.
And this comes back over here.
So how many times do you usually have to...
You put in as much water as you need to until it comes out nice and clear. So it could be anywhere from 2 to 3 cups, maybe even 4 cups, depending on how much milk was left in there when you first emptied it.
Now, if you wouldn't wash it so good, what would that cause?
It could cause it to go rancid.
Oh.
So you do not want to have the milk in there if you can avoid it at all, at all costs.
Well, I don't think it ever lasts long enough in this house to go rancid, but I see your point. Okay, so got it back in there. Oh, the cap is...
Okay, so we cover it again. Back up to number 10. Now my guesstimation is that it will be at least 3 times for me to wash this before it becomes clear. So this is the second washing, and I'm figuring that I've got at least 1 more washing out of this.
Alright.
At least that's what past experience has taught me.
Well, I'm glad your past experience has taught you something. Sometimes I think mine hasn't taught me too much.
Now, you notice it's not as cloudy as it was before.
Oh, yeah.
So it's starting to get a little bit clearer. So at this point, you want to scrape it off of here again. Get as much off as you can. Now it's getting a little bit harder for me to do this because of the fact that it's getting a little bit cleaner and it's getting a little bit harder from the cold water that's going through it. Remember I said that the cold water also hardens it up a bit, so that's why it's getting a little bit harder for me to get it out of the whisk. Some people, when they have learned how to make butter, they sometimes do not have the KitchenAid or any other kind of mixer.
Okay.
There are other products on the market. There's hand churners, and basically what that is that it's a mason jar that has a crank at the top. You put the milk in the whipping cream in the jar, and you just keep turning it until it turns into butter.
When I was a kid, they'd say you churn butter and something with a big
That's
handle.
pretty much what it is, yes. That's why it takes so long. In the 1800s, when you'd read about people spending hours churning, that's what they were doing, is they were churning cream into butter, and that's why it would take so long for it to be done.
This is called cheesecloth. Aren't you supposed to be making cheese?
It can be used for cheese as well. When you make cheese, you're also using heavy cream. Depending on the type of recipe you're setting up, you can either make cheese, cottage cheese, butter, whipping cream. It just depends on what recipe you're using and what ingredients you put into it and how long and what you do to get the end result. So now we're squeezing that out again as much as we can.
Does a lot get stuck in the cheesecloth?
Yeah, but once I get it squeezed out, then I clear it out as much as I can.
Okay.
So now this water is...
Let's see that water.
As it's being poured, you can see that it's a little bit clearer. So by the third time, it should be a lot clearer then. We're going to put it through one more time. And this third time should be the charm. Okay. Okay, now this should be the last washing. So now, cover the bowl.
Oh, ready?
Bring the bowl up. And we go to number...
Make sure that cloth doesn't get stuck on the...
Yeah.
That whisk will just pull it right into the butter. Taking off on runway 5.
I'm sorry?
Taking off on runway 5 is the butter plane.
Okay, now this should be the last of it.
Thank God we're getting to the last washing of the butter. That's great. I say it's certainly worth it.
And normally I would not advocate this, but since it's family, I want to get as much butter off of this as possible. Since this looks like it's going to be the last wash.
No, it's okay. You washed your hands yesterday, right?
I washed my hands today too.
Oh, good. I wash my hands so many times in a day anymore? Jeez.
Okay. One final time.
All right. Squeezing that cheese, yeah, butter. Can you make cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese?
Yes, it just depends on the type of recipe and the type of... Now, the mozzarella, I believe, I'd have to check the recipes again, but I think they use sour cream to make that. So we'd have to double check the recipe and everything.
Look at that butter, folks. Whoops.
But this is pretty much the butter. Okay. Right now what I'm doing is just trying to get a little bit of the last remnants here that I can reach.
I think you should probably use a piece of bread.
And there is the butter.
All right. Our son's mother who made the butter. Hello. Now this is something that we never made in the Cassese bakery. But I'm taking the poetic license, or whatever I'm taking, to go ahead and make this anyway. I found this recipe. It was posted on the internet. It's a recipe for soft pretzels. When I was a kid, I saw my grandfather one day. All of a sudden, he's making something, and then he had this big icing bowl, like aluminum icing bowl, and he filled that with water, and he filled it with boiling, and he made the water boil. And then he took it looked like donuts, but he was making bagels in the back. We didn't may have that as an item, but that one day I do remember specifically because I thought, what the heck is he doing? We're supposed to be baking the bread, not boiling it in water and then baking it. But that is how you get the soft pretzels, the nice soft texture, and the nice soft texture of bagels. So it's an adventure in doing something different today. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so I have a cup and a half of hot water or warm water. Since it's not 90 degrees outside today, it's more of a fall day. So I put a little extra hot water that warms up the bowl. And then, per the recipe, I have a teaspoon of salt going in. Have the dry yeast. Let's see. That's still a little warm for the dry yeast. Oh, the brown sugar I could put in. The brown sugar calls for 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. At first I wasn't going to put the brown sugar because I try to use not too much sugar, not too much salt. But I went ahead and did it the first time and I thought, oh man, these pretzels are so good. I got to keep the recipe just like it says. So get that melted a little bit. A tablespoon of unsalted melted butter, which I have pretty much right here. I think it's salted, but it's not going to hurt because this is stuff we've been using. Put that in there. I did just wash my hands. Yeah, feel that? Okay, now it's getting to the point where I put warm water to water up the bowl, but not, I made it hot, and I didn't want to kill the yeast with too much heat. Now that I've melted, put the other ingredients in there, the salt, the brown sugar, the melted butter, and the bowl is getting warmer, and it's not too hot to kill the yeast, so I'll go ahead and put the yeast in. And the yeast says, what did I say, 2 1/4 teaspoons of dry yeast. So it's not a lot, but we're making, it's a small batch. I wanted to keep it small so I didn't double it or triple it and screw it up. Since it's a new thing that we're doing here. And it's hard to keep up with everything when you're boiling the water. You'll see, when you're boiling the water and we're making the pretzel shapes and stuff, so
It's a two-man operation.
it's a two-man operation, or a man and his wife operation. So the butter mutter. Not to be confused with the horses that like to run in the mud. Those are also mudders of a different
Caliber.
ilk or caliber. Okay. Okay, so we got those. Now let's go. It says salt, brown sugar, melted butter slowly. Add 3 cups of flour, mix till thick. Okay, so it says 3 3/4 to 4 cups of flour, so I'm going to be going ahead and putting in 3 cups, and then let's just mix it slowly like it says. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is 3 cups. No.
Okay, so it's recording.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my last flour out of here, and not to get it on the camera's lens too. It's good. You can see we need it. Oh, I dumped the whole thing. It said slowly, but that's slow to me. And then I will go ahead and stop it and scrape it down. And down with that, and I have to do this a few times. Because it's such a small batch, I want to make sure it's mixing properly at the bottom.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. You only have to raise this once. And as soon as it's made, I have to throw it on the counter and knead it for 3 minutes. It looks like it's coming together. I'm just going to stop it again and feel it. Yeah, let's let it mix a little bit more. Alright, let's slow down. It's mixing pretty nicely. Let's triple check here. Yeah, because you could squeeze the dough and you could find out, you can see how it feels by just squeezing it. And it seems to be mixing pretty nicely right now, so I'll quit messing with it and just let it go a little bit longer. And since my wife took so long with the butter, I'm going to try to make this a little quicker. Okay, we're just making a small batch. Okay, I would say that's pretty good because I'm going to beat the heck out of it, or knead it a lot, in other words, for the next 3 minutes. So, I got the counter clean over there, the breadboard. Good. Thank you so much. It's just a little ball of dough, so that's pretty clean. Let's bring it over here. Nice and clean. And kneading it. Putting it in, rolling it into itself. Just beating it. No, it doesn't say to beat it. I shouldn't really be doing all that. That doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt. There we go. So yeah, totally different than my bread, than our bread at the bakery, but it's makes it very nice if you like soft pretzels. Kind of selling in different malls. You'll like this. Years ago when our son was little and we would find in the store sometimes, and I'm not blaming my son because I'm the one probably that liked them the most, and the whole family did too. You get these little bagel dogs. They're little pieces of hot dog, looks like a miniature hot dog about this long, and it was wrapped up in the bagel dough. And they were very expensive. A bag was, I don't know, $7-8.
Yeah, I think so.
6, 7, 8. And you wouldn't get it that much, but they were so good. Just put, you bake them and put the mustard or whatever you like on top, and they would, just could eat a bag in 1 or 2 settings. The second time I ever tried this recipe, I put I stopped and I cut little pieces of hot dog after we put them in the water, after we boiled them, before we baked them, and I slapped a little hot dog in there, and oh my goodness. I thought, this is it. This is just as good, if not better, than the ones that we used to buy. So, as soon as I can order more hot dogs, I'll be making a big batch and throwing them in the freezer and giving them back to my son and for us, and then we'll be all stocked, because we did make them last time. We did make quite a few pans, and what did it last, a week?
Yeah, about a week.
They were just so good. So then it's a different recipe. You knead it first, right after the mixer. So you're just tossing it in here and you're kneading it. And I would say, I think I've kneaded it enough. Where did you say our baking cloths are?
Dining room.
Okay.
On the table.
And then cover it for 10 minutes. And now's the time to get the water boiling. Now in the water, according to the recipe, in the water you put the baking soda, right?
Yes. How many cups of water?
We kneaded the dough for 3 minutes, shaped into a ball, cover with a towel, rest 10 minutes. Okay, let me set this just so I got 10 minutes. A half a cup of baking soda per 9 cups of water into a big pan. So we'll get that going now. So now we're just going to rest, let that go for the rest of the 10 minutes, and then we'll show you what the other process is. Alright, so what I'm doing is, it says here in the recipe, after 10 minutes of raising, to cut the dough in 1/3 sections. So let's see what it looks like to be a third here. It might, close enough. It's not critical. This is just for rolling purposes. Lined a couple pans with parchment paper. We got some already. Okay, roll dough into 20-inch rope into pretzel shapes, and then boil it in the water. So let's get this going. God bless you, my dear.
Sorry.
It's okay. So it's not a lot of beating or anything. I'm just gonna roll it like I roll my bread into sections. As I do, I'll try to keep it nice and tight instead of loose and slappy. Well, 20 inches sections, it's more important, I think, than to worry about 20 inches to go ahead and get it to the desired thickness that you want to make your pretzels. Roll it, hey, quit hanging around there. I'm getting near that size. I don't want to make these pretzels too huge because I want to make some little nuggets at the end. You know, I should probably start scaling these babies. Like I say, I'm going ahead and measure these just so I can have consistency for the next batch. It's like 2.8 ounces to 3, somewhere in that vicinity. So then I'm rolling this about, I don't know, 14 inches, and make a little cross there, twice, and then you flip it over and you push it down, and there's your pretzels. Tommy Gear would like that. He likes anything that's pretzel shaped. He used to like the donuts that look like this with orange icing. Mr. T. Okay, here's some silicone paper, and I'm putting that on here. And this next one, okay, gonna roll this out about the same way. And 2, and then flip it over. There's your pretzel shape.
I can show it again.
I'll show it to you again right now.
And you lift it up that way.
Yeah, I'll do that for you as soon as I. Okay. So I make a circle. 1, crisscross. 2. Turn it over with the 2 ends. And there's your pretzel shape.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
That's 2, 3, and the last one. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. I don't even know if you want me to keep doing this. Show you.
No, that's good.
That is a pretzel, folks. Okay, and the next piece, same thing. I'm gonna make a few more pretzels. Let's roll it. Roll them, roll them, roll them. Keep those pretzels rolling. Right. This is a big log here. Okay. And we'll just put that over here. Well, we're not doing the hot dogs inside them today because we do not have hot dogs. I thought we did, but we don't. So we'll just make some of these pretzels, and then I'll do a few little nuggets with the last piece, and we'll be all set. And then I'll hold the camera while my wife boils them, and then we'll turn around, and then we gotta bake them. So it's a little bit of a process. Not quite as bad as making butter, but nah, it's little soft pretzel nuggets. And I made these last time, and they're like little soft pillows. I freeze them right away, and you take them out of the freezer, and you pop them into the microwave 12 seconds, depending on how strong your microwave is, and they retain the softness, and they're just as wonderful as ever. The thing that you don't have to worry about is scaling them. Make them small, and we'll do a little raising. And there we have our little nuggets and our pretzels and some more silicone paper. Yeah, I really regret not making a bigger batch because then we could eat more, but I'll make some more as needed probably tomorrow.
Probably.
Okay, so that's what we got to show you how they look now, okay? And then we're gonna do the boiling, and I'll change with my wife right now if you're ready to do the boiling. My wife is already started. And what she does is she drops us into the water. She set the timer, and that's what you get, folks. You get dough boiling, and she pushes them down a little bit. Try not to push them down so it doesn't bust the little pretzel shape. So Karen just go ahead and put it right back. Silicone paper. You needed a flat spatula right there, sweetheart. It shouldn't hurt it. Alrighty. Put a little bit on there. Oh, sorry. Bad camera work here, folks. Okay. That's the boiling process. I'm so used to frying donuts, I want to turn them over. Maybe that's what we gotta do, just go 15 seconds and flip them over instead of pushing them down. Okay. They look kind of lovely. Yeah, let's do that. Why do you choose to do that with a spoon instead of that flat spatula? Well, maybe now I know why. Put the spoon with a slit in it? There you go. I think I hear a car door. I wonder if Tony's getting
It's 3:15, so he probably is.
good. Okay. Aha, our boy. Hey, trick or treating is not this week.
Shoot! My mom makes like this.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
we
that's
gotta,
right.
we gotta take the cheese sauce too. Forgot about that.
You have the ingredients for it?
I believe I do. I'll have to double check the recipe and see. That's it.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. And we're gonna get the next step in a minute. Here's the egg wash. I just broke an egg and put a little tiny bit of water, not much. I'm just gonna do one pan. Now this is after the, as we went over, after the boiling process, you go ahead and you drain them a little bit, let them dry, put some egg wash on them, and then we bake them for, I think it's 10 to 12 minutes or until golden brown, as all recipes say about bread. And you will be delighted. Now that Tony and his friend Adam are over here, we're gonna all pig out, and then we'll have our meals later. After we're full of pretzels. The son gave us this course. Yeah. What do you have to do? Oh, like that. No wonder. Okay, now I just put a little salt, not too much. It's up to your taste. Salt is very good for us. We need salt, and it also helps us retain water and stay fat. So something for everybody. It's just too good. I don't mind eating salt when I'm cutting the grass and it's 100 degrees outside, because I don't mind doing that at all. I like the sweat, and you need that extra salt. So even though it's not 100, I'm still laying it on. These little nuggets are, whoa, just pop them in the freezer, take them out, throw them in the microwave. You can see they're already raising and they're getting full of air. That's the advantage of these little nuggets. And then you don't have to eat the whole big pretzel or save it. You just take a few nuggets as needed. Instead of eating the whole pretzel, you could eat 2 or 3 dozen nuggets. Nah, kidding. But yeah, I like the... We only had the hot dogs. Well, we'll order from... whatever store, and we'll buy those nice hot dogs. Alright, you know, it's a small recipe. Oh, perfect timing. And we'll toss these in the oven right now. Three. Okay. And go for a ride. See, let's check after 10 minutes. I told you the wrong time. It's not 10 minutes, it's 12 to 14 minutes. So I cooked them a little longer. And pour until golden brown. So these, look at those little babies. Those are, that's been right about 14 minutes. Bottom, nice and firm. Nice and firm on the bottom. Did you get that? And the other ones, they're a little bit bigger, so I still have them in the oven. I'll leave them for another minute or 2. And check the bottom. Always good to check the They keep following the no. Always good to check the son of a gun. The bottom. I need gloves or something. Okay. Always good to check. Oh yeah, that should be ready. I'll just let it shut that baby off and let it stew. Adam, you may be the first to try these if you like. Mustard like Tony likes, or no?
Yeah, I want a little mustard.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Adam. I'm
Yeah.
here to try some pretzels.
Okay. Give a little plug to your light show if you like.
Running a Halloween light show, 4960 Imperial Road in Gurney.
How many years have you been doing that? I was asking my wife.
11 years.
11 years.
This is the 11th year.
Maybe I can do like the URL, post it, attach it to this video. So Adam does his house up in Gurney for Christmas, right, and Halloween, and it's just like unbelievable little light show. As soon as you turn off the road and get close to his house, you'll see it, and then you turn your radio on,
87.9 FM.
and then you'll see it. So any of our North Chicago graduates that are still in the area, go see Adam's light show. It's worth it.
Those are really good.
Not
Really
bad, are they?
good. Oh yeah, they're really.
Amazing little inventions there. And I'll take this one out. These are larger, so I gave them a little. Okay, nice. They're still hot. Let's see, a baker doesn't grab it like a carpenter would grab a nail or a hammer. A baker grabs it very lightly so he doesn't get burned. And yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I think that might be all that I need for this video. Bye.